This is the GTN Show, welcome. It is a busy one this week. We've got triathlon news, race news, some real-time transitions, and a lot more. And don't worry if you're missing Mark, he will be appearing in the show a little bit later on.
And on top of all that, just to warn you, we have been thinking. Now, I know you guys most probably know what triathlon is, or at least I hope so, but what do you think about the general population? Do they actually know what this sport is that we love? We're going to be finding out. We pretty much live, breathe, and most certainly talk triathlon or all things swim, bike and run, but how many other people actually know about it? Now, Fraser, I know that you have done triathlon for pretty much all of your life. Do you have friends that don't know what triathlon is?
I see where you're going with this, Heather. I mean, you're right. I have literally lived the life of a triathlete for a long time, and most of my social circle definitely comes from inside the sport. But I do have some other good friends that weren't involved with triathlon, but admittedly, they really did know about the sport because of me. As to how much and how well, I didn't really ever ask them, I guess.
Okay, well, I think I actually learned about triathlon from friends and from people who are doing it, because I knew of a different type of triathlon when I was like about 8 or 9, but that's another story for another day, I think.
Was there some fencing in it?
There wasn't fencing, there was running and swimming, but instead of cycling, there was shooting. So maybe we should do one of those one day. But anyway, we digress. Triathlon, I mean, is a young sport. It didn't actually start in the Olympics until Sydney in 2000, and actually wasn't even a sport until the 70s. So it's understandable that, you know, especially older people wouldn't know what the sport is.
No, and people often get confused by which order things go in, what do we need to wear, do we get given equipment at races, where do you swim, I often get asked. So it definitely still is struggling to definitely get into public consciousness, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And well, I mean, I don't know, but I think I want to find out from what the actual real general public do. Admittedly, we are in the UK, but I'm gonna head out onto the streets of Bath to find out. Do you know what the sport of triathlon is?
No, I do not. No.
Any guesses?
I would guess it involves some form of exercise.
So, quick question, do you know what the sport of triathlon is?
No.
Any idea?
Nope.
Running, then swimming, then cycling.
Right, guys, I want to know if you know what triathlon is.
Is it a 3-sport event? So it's like bicycle, swimming and running.
Did you know that, and do you know what order it might be in?
Is it swimming, then cycling, then running?
No, running, cycling.
Running, cycling?
It is swimming, cycling, running, yeah. And can you name any famous triathletes out of you?
No, probably not.
Brownlees? Is it Brown?
Yes.
The ones, the two twins.
Can you name any famous triathletes?
Yes. From the Brownlee brothers on the male side, the final Iron Woman, well, one at the end of the last year. Non-Stafford.
The two brothers from Yorkshire, and I've forgotten their name. I should do, because that's where I come from.
I was going to say that accent sounds like it's rather close to where the...
I'm from Liverpool, but I live in Yorkshire, near Leeds.
Shall I put you out of your misery?
Go on then.
The Brownlee brothers.
The Brownlee brothers.
Can you name any other triathletes?
No.
So first of all, do you know what triathlon is?
Yes, I think so. I'm not sure of the distances, but I think I do.
Go on, what do you think it is?
It involves running, possibly a marathon, then swimming, and then cycling equal distances.
Do you know what the sport of triathlon is?
Yes, I do.
Go on.
Go on.
Can you tell me? And do you know the order?
Yes, in order of kind of danger. Swimming, cycling and running.
Well, Bath is a pretty sporty city, but still not that many people actually knew what triathlon was. And there was quite a bit of guessing going on as to the sports and definitely the order. But obviously we are biased, and I want to know in this week's GTN poll whether you think the general public, not your friends and your close family, but whether the general public know what triathlon is. So you've got 4 options for this week's poll. No, they've got no idea. Yes, they know what triathlon is and can name the sports. Yes, they know what triathlon is and can name the order of the sports. And then finally, they can name all of the sports and also a famous triathlete. Well, to enter that poll, just click in the link up here. And that now leads us on to last week's poll, and we asked, is triathlon good for you? And obviously we are all pretty biased, and the results showed that, because 96% of you said yes, it's good for you, and just 4% thought it wasn't. Well, that's pretty conclusive, I think. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave this sunshine. I think it's probably time I headed back into the set to catch up with Fraser. Oh, Fraser, you won't believe how many people don't know what triathlon is.
That's great, Heather, but we really need to get organised and start packing.
I know, California, yeah, okay, but I do need to actually pack my bikinis. I better go for that. It's going to take me some time. All right, see you in a moment.
Quick.
Okay, right, I'll go and start.
Got to get to California.
Woo!
Guys, where are they?
They're in California, man.
Well, they've gone without me.
Yep.
Well, I suppose they want me to do the news whilst they sun themselves in California. It's hardly fair. Well, it is actually a good job. I've got a load of tech to start off this week, otherwise I'd be really quite upset. Now, this past weekend we had the London Triathlon Show, which I guess offers a good opportunity for brands to launch and release new products. Now, first one I've got for you is the Incus product. Now, this is basically a super duper sports wearable. It combines artificial intelligence, sports wearables, and data analytics to help you train and perform better. Now, from what I can tell, this is designed specifically for swimming at the moment, but it does sound like they might expand beyond this in the future, perhaps to cycling and running. Now, by using their rather fancy device, you can start to capture a ton of data about your stroke, and then using their equally as fancy app, you can pull that data apart. You can start to spot trends within your technique, your stroke, patterns, right down to the milliseconds. So, for instance, if you have a dead spot in your stroke at the front, this could be the most advanced way of analysing that today. Now, another product comes from Bitebox Allen, who are well known for their bike boxes, and this new product is called their Easy Fit Bike Box. Now, as most people know, travelling with a TT bike or triathlon bike can be rather stressful. We have internal cables, tightly run cables, so actually trying to disassemble a TT bike can be really difficult, if not impossible in some cases. So with this new box, you can literally plonk your bike right into the box without really having to disassemble much from it. In some cases, depending on the size of your frame or the type of bike, it's literally just the wheels that need to come off. You can even leave the pedals and the rear derailleur installed. And of course, it's a hard case, making it a very safe way of traveling with your bike. Okay, some good news for you here. The Hoff is back. Okay, not that Hoff, but Ben Hoffman, which is still pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, he sustained a stress fracture ahead of the Ironman World Championships at the end of last year, but he's back racing. And we did actually see him race a few weeks ago in Ironman 70.3 Campeche, where he finished an impressive third. But I'll be honest, I was not expecting him to be racing a full distance anytime soon, given the injury that he had. But he has just announced that he's going to be racing next week at the Ironman African Championships, which is great news. But on the flip side of that, some not so good news is Jan Frodeno has announced his postponement to the start of his 2019 race season. Now, he was meant to be racing Ironman 70.3 Oceanside this weekend, where Heather and Fraser currently are. And this was really quite anticipated because this was the big showdown between Lionel Sanders and Jan Frodeno. But unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Well, now for the race news, and this weekend we had the ITU World Cup in New Plymouth, New Zealand. Now, the field was absolutely stacked for this race. We had Olympians, Commonwealth Games representatives, we had sprint specialists, and we even had a bit of triathlon royalty because we had Javier Gomez making a bit of comeback to his ITU roots. Now in the swim, no surprises, it was Richard Varga really pushing the pace, but hot on his heels was Sam Ward. And they formed the lead group with a few others who made a quick transition through T1. But one athlete that did miss out on that breakaway was Javier Gomez. He was just off the back of them, so he ended up in the chase pack. And that chase pack actually worked really well together. They managed to bridge up to that breakaway group. And as they did so, Javier Gomez launched an attack of his own up one of the hills, and that really injected a ton of pace into that group. So we had quite a large, frantic group coming into T2, and it was Luke William that really pushed the pace as he went out onto the run. He managed to maintain that to take the tape, and it was just as Nijslag that took second, and in third, it was Sam Ward. Well, in the women's race, it was Emma Jeffcoat that led out of the water, forming a group of 10 on the bike in the lead group. And they actually managed to gain a 37-second advantage coming back into T2. And they slowly worked their way through, whittling each other down. And it was Angelica Olmo that eventually pushed the pace into the final stage of the run, managing to break away from the group and take the win. And then it was Yolanda Annan that took second and Jazz Hedgeland that took third. We're now moving over to Xterra with the Xterra Asia Pacific Champs over in Taiwan, and this was won by Bradley Weiss and Penny Slater. Now this is actually the second time that Brad Weiss has won this event, and actually his second win in just 1 week, having won the Ironman 70.3 Taiwan race just the Sunday prior. But for Penny, who's just 23 years old, this is probably her biggest and best win of her young triathlon career. Now in the men's race, it unfolded with Ben Allen leading the swim out with a large group following close behind, and that group quickly came together on the bike. So Bradley Weiss pushed the pace on one of the climbs, managing to break away from the rest of the group and actually posting a bike split 2 minutes faster than his closest rival. He continued that on to the run to take the win. It was Sam Osborne that took second and Brice de Board that took third. Well, in the women's race, it was a similar story. We had a large pack emerging from the water. Jackie Allen took it upon herself to put a big effort in on one of the climbs and break that group up, but Penny Slater managed to hang on to her wheel all the way up to T2, and then Penny Slater ran away to take the win. Jackie Allen managed to hang on for second, and then Karina Vassal took third. And that is it from me. So I guess we should check up on Heather and Fraser's holiday. I mean, their Ironman 70.3 Oceanside trip.
Hey, thanks Mark. As you can see, we've found a okay location out here in
I'm coping with it.
Southern California. Yeah, but I think it's time to pick up the rest of the show, and we've actually got T1 now. We've had this fun one sent in by Andre, which admittedly is super speedy, but annoyingly he's just started to take his wetsuit off before we could time it. So I'm afraid, Andre, you don't get to go on the leaderboard, and also a little bit of outside assistance.
There was some serious outside assistance, actually.
Super speedy T1 though, we love it. But I think, Fraser, you've had one sent in.
I have. Now this is one we're going to have a little bit of a look at right now. Now that was a rather speedy transition, wasn't it? And we timed that at 9 seconds, which provisionally, I think, knocks Hank off of our leaderboard poll. So we have finally a triathlete back on top.
Yes, about time too. But do keep sending them in if you reckon you can beat that. Make sure you get practicing, whether it's even in your kitchen or at your pool. Send it in through the uploader, which you can actually find in the link in the description below. But anyway, sticking with transitions, we're now looking at some of the photos you guys have sent in. And our first one here is from a transition. It's the T for the Cure, an event in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, and we've got quite a collection of bikes in there. We've got a time trial bike right there at the front with a disc and everything you'd expect for somebody trying to go rather quick.
Yeah, with the shoes already on the pedals, so obviously a quick transition planned.
I think a road bike is the next one that I can see there.
Yeah, apparently that's got mountain bike pedals, so again, a bit of an eclectic mix. And then last but definitely not least, there is a beach cruiser with a 3-speed beach cruiser.
Which is something I've never actually ridden, and ironically, here we are sitting on the beach.
Yeah, well apparently this triathlon was designed obviously to help raise money for breast cancer charity, but also just getting people involved, and it really shows that you've got full spectrum of athletes, so great to see that one.
Yeah, it's lovely. The next picture we have is a rather beautiful looking scene that Chris has sent in from Aberporth in Wales, which I do think is looking rather nice.
Now, interestingly, he says, after getting an allergic reaction to pool water, decided to swim in the sea this winter, all winter, almost every day, without a wetsuit. Now, we're in California, and I'm not even going to go in the sea here without a wetsuit. And for those of you who don't live in the UK, it is absolutely freezing.
Yeah, well done, Chris. I mean, I do hope you get over your reaction or allergic reaction to the pool, because you should maybe try and get back in there, I think.
Good on you. But anyway, we now want to take a look at some of our photos. I think it's time that we get to show off a little bit about the work that we're doing here in California.
Quick correction there, Heather.
I know you've been out doing some, I saw some of your photos posing by the pier in Oceanside.
Yeah, we found a lifeguard tower and all sorts of fun. So work can be fun sometimes, right?
Shh, don't say that too loudly. But yeah, there's going to be lots more photos. So keep an eye on the GTN Instagram account as well, because you might spot some there. Or if you're out in Oceanside racing, keep an eye for us, because we will be here for the race. But anyway, now it is time to move on to our caption competition. Well, last week you might remember we had this photo from Abu Dhabi, and a lot of suggestions, quite a few along this line of our first runner-up. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, so we've got one from Tim Ford who says the evolution of the triathlete, which it does look very Darwinian, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're loads along that track. Well, our second runner-up comes from Tom Epton. I do like this one, quite clever. Better get a move on, I'm Hungary.
Yeah.
Now, you might notice it's a Hungarian athlete coming out of the water. Clever one.
But our winner is from Jimison Bundy, who says, I have a hunch she might be ready for the bike. So we like that a lot, so well done, Jimison.
Yeah, well done, Jimison. You get a free GTN cap, so just get in contact for that. But we've got some exciting news on the GTN caps, because we have some brand new ones in the shop. Check these out. We've got pink, orange and blue, and well, I'm excited about them.
It's almost the whole rainbow now you've got a choice of.
Yeah, nice stuff. Well, if you want a chance to win one of those caps, but I mean, or you can obviously go and buy them, but you've got the chance of winning a cap in this week's caption competition, which we've got this photo sent in from Chris, the start of a race, and it looks pretty frantic.
Yeah, I think what's happened here is they've had a tape that they've not waited to get raised before they've eagerly tried to get going. So somebody seems to have caught that right under the nose, I think.
Oh, they've got the bit between their teeth there, haven't they?
Yeah, see what you did there.
Well, if you want a chance to win one of those new GTN caps, all you need to do is send in your caption suggestion, leave it in the comments section below.
Yes, and hopefully you've enjoyed our show again this week, so please hit that thumb up like button. Don't forget to click on the globe to subscribe and get all of our other videos on GTN.
And if you want to see some work that we have actually been doing out here, you can see all you need to know about Oceanside, the race that we're here for, and that is just down here.